Okay, this is, well, technically from April's paint set, and it is mermaid now. So for those of you that want to do mermaids, I thought we'd do a couple of mermaid projects. Now I do just have some generic washi tapes. I don't get to use them very much just because, well, I thought they weren't portable, but they fit in this case, my little Arts Next case, pretty amazingly awesome. And I thought we'd do something with that really quick because it's quick and easy. I want to show you a couple of quick and easy ways to make some mermaids. So the first one's going to be with washi, and the second one's going to be with just some simple paint and or pen tricks. Could be used for either. So this is the Xanadu monthly color for April. They were all purples and they are amazing. You can see some of these I was actually using as skin tones on some things. They work very good as backgrounds and shadow colors. The blue violet is pretty amazing. The blue sapphire looks very blue. I've used it for skies and mountains and things. The purples I've used for just about everything. And you can see some of them have a little bit more sparkle to them than others. That one's super sparkly, so it's nice for finishing touches. So we'll use some of that. Probably use some of our other Xanadu colors as well. Ink pen, washi. You don't even need, you can be really neat with the washi. I'm not going to be neat with the washi. I'm going to be really like ghetto. So we're just going to use our fingertips and rip them. Now, I thought about this a little ahead of time, so I kind of made my own little plan and thought, what could I do with some washis that would be just fun and easy? You could use an X-Acto to trim everything evenly after if you wanted to, but I kind of wanted to get the look of just what it would be like to just have some fun with washi and just use some of my washis. So I did. So I came up with some designs floating in the water, different angles, sitting on a rock, floating, and we can try some of those. I do have a problem with my camera. I did pick up too big of a journal this week, so it might be hard to get the last one in. Then I want to show you how to do some just really simple ones that you can do with a magic marker or an ink pen or a brush. But let's start with the washi ones. I kind of cheated. I just ripped little pieces off, rough edges, just kind of like I did in my little demo of what I thought they would look like. So all I did is I kind of just drew a little circle for the head, and I kind of drew my shape. So you can see where I got my shape from here. I just kind of drew my little circle and I drew my shape. So bust, hips, and down. Same up here. I've got her sitting like she's floating, so I've got her bust and her head, and then I just kind of made her body floating. This one down here is kind of interesting. I thought it would be fun to do like a pinup pose one where she's sitting on the rock and just kicking her little legs up. So that's kind of what I did there. I drew her head, got her bust, there's her butt, and she's kicking her feet up. And then you can see on the ends of some of them I got so fancy. I just ripped them off at a funky angle to make them look a little bit more like a tail. And I kind of like the look of having some of the edges out there because it kind of gives just a natural feel to it. You can also stick more pieces on if you want extra fins sticking out. You could just do a few more fins, which would be cool. And then my girl at the far side, I've got kind of my floating girl. I imagined her floating in the water and pieces of her just kind of sticking up. And I did her on the side over here, which is going to be a little tougher to see because I can't quite see there. So let's see if we can just flash over there. Ooh. And I kind of set her up too. I don't know if I'll be able to get her in frame later. And we might not have that much time. I don't want to spend too much time and make it too long for you today. And I do want to show you another simple type that I did the other day. So for these, hopefully I can work in my rig here, you can just grab a pen and just kind of draw in the body and the head. You don't even have to get super fancy. So I'm just going to go ahead and draw part of her. Go boop. I'm going to give her some hair. Some wavy hair maybe because she is a mermaid. Cute short hairstyle. Nice neck. Some shoulders. Boop. And I notice on the washi it doesn't always stick in my nice journal. I don't think it likes the texture. Might have to try to tape it down or glue it down later with some gesso. But we just stick her little arms out. make her super easy. And since that's her little chest here, I'm just going to go ahead and give her a little waist and a body. And if you want to draw on your washi, you could too, and just set her up. But I'm not too terribly worried about that, actually. I just think she's... Technically, you don't even need to do a face if you don't want to. If you want to do a face, you can. If you don't, you don't. Shoulders, just kind of round it at the shoulders. Let her arms come down, go out. Boop. I kind of imagine them all holding hands in there. So they could just have their little hands sticking in there or whatever. Maybe she's tweaking her little foot. Give her a little belly button. Boop. Okay, and this one, that's my other one going at a different angle. So I'm going to go just to her little head here too. Do a neck. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. Same thing. She can just be floating in the water. I mean, that's what mermaids do, right? Float in the water. Do, 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 do. We'll just get her floating in the water. Boop. Boop. Give her a little hand there. If you want to define her, you could. We can also define them by putting a background around them. So this one is a little bit different angle. So her little body's reaching a little bit. Oop. Oop. And I'm cool with that. Oh, she needs some hair probably. So let's see. Let's just give her some spiky fun hair. Yeah, I mean, she probably needs some spiky fun there. Our sitting girl, so she could be at a little bit different angle too. We can either have her face kind of looking up, or we can have it looking over, but kind of do her face over that way. Do her little neck. And she is just kind of rocking it out. So let's draw her little body in here. She's got her back here mostly. Her little back's going to come down. Oop. Little chest. She might have her belly button in there. Yes, it made me very excited to get a chance to use my anchor. Little anchors. That was just so much fun. And I'll just kind of draw in her rock. Kind of make a rock. She doesn't have any hair yet. She's going to need some longer hair. It's going to be hard for me to get this angle just because the way my camera thing is. So let's see. We'll do very simple little eyes. Just kind of do a line and a little dot. A line and a little dot. Do a little nose. Little M mouth. It's always easy. And on her, we'll give her some more wavy hair. So we'll give her little part. I think she needs more pin-up-y type hair. Maybe her hair is even pinned up. Give her a little crown. Doesn't have to be anything super fantastic. Same thing. You can see she looks like a cute little mermaid even without having a face on. You can just add a face. We can also add it with paint, but just do the same thing. It's about the simplest face you could do. Just do a little bit of a line, and I just do a little squiggle for part of the end of the eye because it's such a small figure. Can also give it a little zing by giving it some eyebrows. Give her a little nose. Boop. Maybe she has a little bit more attitude. Smile. I like smiles. Yeah, she could probably use some of that. I like her too. We're going to add a face for her too. Just add a little eyebrow. So they all have little faces, and I guess I'll put a face on the other little gal over here. We'll see if we can show her later. Let's see if I can show her now. Oop. Gonna have a really hard time getting my camera to show that. Let's see if I can move this over just a bit. I don't have a whole lot of space in here just because of the kind of overhead rig I have. Okay, I'll just have to scribble her in here really quick. And then we will just show her off a little bit later. But I'm doing the same face. I'm just going to draw a little neck on her. Let her arms go out because she's floating. Not super concerned. Just want it to be fun. And I'm going to give her some really fun floaty hair too. We're just going to give her some big floaty hair because if you're floating in the water, it's just going to be floating all over, which is awesome. I mean, what fun is it to be a mermaid if you can't have any floaty hair? And I've got pieces of her body kind of showing, so she's going to get some wave in here. You won't be able to see everything on her. Some wave in here. And let's see, we got same thing here. And hers, I'm going to kind of add some of hers. Boop, boop. Okay. So on these girls, I think we're going to add a background to bring it out because I don't really want to outline them. I kind of like the shapes that they are. So I want to just add some background. In this case, I think I'm going to start with the blue purple that I have in here. That's pretty nice. You can see it's got a lot of blue to it. Hopefully you can see some of that blue. It's got a lot of blue to it. And we'll just drop some of that in here and see what it looks like if we put it around our girls. Getting that tape to stick down. We'll just give it a little bit of a line so that we can see more of our shape of our girls. Nothing fancy, not trying to do anything fancy, just gonna give it some color so that the washi stands out and the girls stand out. Because I really kind of like the way that shape comes out of those. Makes me all happy. Just seems like it would be so much fun to do this, so I thought I'd try. A little bit more water. I don't need a dark blue. I mean, we can add more color in there and more shading if you want. You can get super fancy. You can see it's giving me a little bit of shading just by the washi being the washi and the watercolor being the watercolor. I thought it was fun to have coordinating tops with their bottoms. The washi was fun to use for that. A bit more water. We'll work on that rock a little later. Same thing, we'll just kind of come in here and get her. Doesn't matter if it bleeds onto her a little bit. We can always adjust that when we color her hair or whatever else we want to do with her. Get a gaggle of mermaids. So that only took a couple of lines. Even if you didn't want to put curves in there or angles and just kept it straight, they would still be very cute little mermaids. You wouldn't have to worry about that at all. Nothing fancy. Technically, you could do this painting ahead of time, but sometimes it makes it even harder for that washi tape to stick. And then you might not be able to get some of the edges and stuff on here, so it's kind of fun to just let it get its own edges, I think. But so nothing special. We're not doing any special techniques or anything. You know, you could get this as wet as you wanted. If you wanted to just drop in color instead of paint it around. I'm kind of using just a wet brush. I don't really care if it's all even or consistent color. We can always add more stuff in later. You could spritz it down with some water if you wanted to. It would probably make it go a little faster. I just want to have a little bit of control around the girls here, just to get enough to give them. Not perfect. They don't have to be perfect. Just want them to have a bit of background to make them pop out of the areas. Mermaids can be pretty complicated. I've got one on the other page there that took me a little while to do. But they don't have to be. They can be just a lot of fun. It's the whole point of a mermaid, is to have fun. I mean, there's few things funner than mermaids. And unicorns are probably tougher to draw. Who doesn't love a good mermaid? I got a little dark over there. I'm just getting the other girl that's a little off screen over here. Hopefully I'll be able to show her to you after. Might have to futz around with some stuff, but... If you want to drop in some other colors for fun, you can. And we can do that. I'm going to just drop in some in here for my rock. Now, you see some of these colors, light, make pretty interesting facial colors. They're not too bad to use. Just use them a little lighter. Just color in some face. Because we're using the purples, it just kind of makes them like they're part of the water. Kind of blend in just a little bit. Same thing over here to her. Just give her a little bit of color in there. Oh, we forgot to give her a belly button. We'll have to fix a couple of those. Gotta have some belly buttons, heck's sake. And see on her, I just kind of cut and drew right into the tape because you can do that. It just doesn't matter. It'll get the idea. It just distracts away from it. Okay. Oh, I didn't get a face on her. Guess I'll have to work on that one after. She's floating, so I want to get a little bit more shade around her to help with that floaty feeling. Okay. Come back by the same token. Now, okay, it's killing me. She doesn't have her little belly button. I gotta give her a little belly button here. Little belly button. This one needs a little face. I mean, again, even at this point, you could just leave them and not do anything fancy if you didn't want to. You just kind of leave them. They're still cute. It's all about when you want to stop and what you want to do with it. I'm going to grab some of my February colors. This is my February Aquanut box, and it's got a really, the coral's pretty, but I really like the Quin pink for this one. It's a bright pink. We'll just add a little bit to their little cheeks. Give them a little lip treatment there too. Oh, I just got my arm stuck in my purple paint. I did a good job there. Good job there. Get a little bit on her. A little bit on her. Oh, don't have eyebrows on her. Made a mess. Okay, let's see. Oh, that blue. We could go back to that blue. That blue is pretty awesome. Give a little bit of eye shade in there. We'll make them a little fancy. Probably some kind of mermaid sleepover. If you want to, you can give them a little shadow under the chin with that color too. Pretty good shadow color. Little belly button shading. Yeah, because everybody needs belly button shading, I'm sure. All right. Okay, ooh, I know. Let's use some of that really, really nice sparkly purple. We're going to use some of that. Give some people some cool hair. Again, see, nothing has to be perfect. It just gives the illusion of some light or some shading on there. You can always come back and add more details in with your pens if you want to after as well. Give her a little bit more on the face. Ooh, let's give the other one of the other dark colors. Let's give her the darker one we were using for the shade on her rock, because that'll make her look kind of cool. Make her blend in with her rock a little bit better. I also think it's a lot of fun to do more than one tone, kind of like we did with the rock. So we'll add some alternating color in here. Give her just a little bit more. Fancy's always fun. Come back in here and add a little bit more to the rock. And my other gal just needs some hair. Let's see. Oh, I haven't really used any green. I've got green from my other box. I've got my merch box here. It has all the pretty greens. So, ooh, I like the, see, this one's got one of the really, really sparkly ones. They've all got some sparkle, but a couple of them definitely have more than the others. I think we'll give the other mermaid some green here with the extra sparkles. You saw the green palette last month when we did the little butterfly gal, and I used all the greens. They're very pretty greens. Just adding some in there. We have to add some darker, just to give her a little bit. This is supposed to be fun. When you start working too hard about the lines and worrying about them, you take all your fun out of it for you. So, again, we don't even have to go any fancier than this. You can if you want to. You certainly don't have to. I'm going to put some eyebrows on the other gal. She managed to not get any eyebrows. You can go back in here and darken their eyes, fancy their shapes up, whatever. Just kind of give them more shape. If you want to add something to their tail, if you want to add necklaces, if you want to add hair bobs like we did with her, we kind of added crown bobs to her. Made her a little bit fancier. Other than that, super cute. You can always add more lines to the hair if you would like. Just little things that make it a little bit more fun. Anything you do makes it fancier. But even when we didn't have any of that, we could have just left it. In so many places we could have just left it and not worried about it. Everything else is just making it a little fancier. It's a great way to just experiment and have fun too. Not be too concerned with the outcome. Just having fun. They're just fun time little mermaids. I'm not quite as much into the pink dots, so they're kind of driving me just a little nuts. I'm going to just smooth them out across the face a little differently, I think. Sometimes they look really cute. Most of the time they just kind of drive me nuts, and I'd rather have them just spread out a bit. Yeah, so we'll just spread them a bit. If you want to go back in and put little dots in their eyes, you can too. It's a little hard because these are pretty small. You saw how small they were, but you can put little dots in. Oop. Okay, if I can find my white pen. Where did I stash it? You'd add a little whites back to them if you wanted. You could add a little more detail to hers. This is another thing you could use if you wanted to take down some of the edge and just make it a little bit different shape. It'd be pretty easy to just kind of mop that out. Actually, on this one, we could probably take some of that out with some of the blue. Oh yeah, make her little crown a little fancier. You girls okay? Okay. Some simple, easy mermaids. I can get that over there. So they came out just kind of cute. There's the other one that's just floating, so it only shows part of her. Okay. Now, some of the stuff we just did on the faces, we're going to go ahead and do on another page. I think I might get one of the smaller journals for that, except for I'm using them all. Let me get one of my smaller journals. Okay. Let those dry.